right, so what we've done is we've placed a couple of sensors in here. We're trying to measure wind speed, obviously. So we've got an anemometer, which right now is actually pulling air in, but we expect that to change and start to push out. And then we have a temp and humidity sensor down on the bottom. So we're gonna get an air sample or sample of the air that's coming through this tube after we release water up top.
Okay, and then we'll go back in here and you can kind of show what's going on in here.
You wanna do the pump or you gonna?
Well, there's the pump.
There's the pump.
That was just turned on about a minute or two ago. You can hear it running.
The hose all the way up?
Hose all the way up. It's gonna take about 2 minutes or so for it to actually start working because it's got to saturate the air and start to thaw. We're gonna go in here and show the weather data, and Chris will go over the weather data again on how everything operates and what the numbers mean. Here's our computer.
So this is kind of our database, and we've got two sets of sensors. One is the control set, which is TX1 or transmitter 1. We've got our outside temp, humidity, dew point, which is really what we're going to be focused on here. In terms of time, this will give us new updates every minute and break those down to the prior minute in 10-second increments. So in a moment here, we should see our latest, which just went to 2:10:30 p.m. and 85.4 degrees, 48% humidity, our control. Then over here, TX2, this is the sensors that we just talked about inside the tube, the exhaust tube or tunnel, if you will, and we should see some changes when we compare the outside or control air to the exhaust air. And again, the humidity and dew point are what we're going to start to look for. And already we're seeing that humidity change a little bit, but we just started the test. It does take time for it to kind of...
You want to go to the other page too?
Move on. Yep. And then we can bring up another page which will show us...
Which is much simpler.
Simpler readout. And here we've got our transmitter 1, so this is our control or outside or untreated air. Outside humidity 48%. And then this is our treated air, if you will, or exhaust, which we can see the humidity is 56%. So we're going to watch the humidity and the dew point closely on that.
And then that is the highest wind speed in a 10-minute interval. And you can see right now it's just been an updraft going on still. We may have to inject a little bit more water at the top, which we would kind of see that as it goes. But I'll go back outside and kind of show you what's going on inside of the tunnel. Generally takes anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes from the last time we turned it on. That was about the time frame from when it started to blow air. As you can see right now, it's starting to get stagnant, which is kind of similar to what happened last time. This thing pretty much quit blowing. It's starting to get a little bit cooler. I don't know if you can feel that, Chris,
oh, yeah.
or not.
And I think it's starting to, I think I feel a little bit of a push this way now.
Yeah, and you can see it.
There it goes. It just started now exhausting.
Right.
So that was the first energy that we've seen now starting to come out as a result of the water being put up top.
Exactly.
And we expect this, hopefully, to really ramp up, right?
Yeah, it'll begin to pick up. It's all going to matter of how much water we're injecting at the top and whether we need to inject more or less, and we'll know that pretty much in the next couple of minutes.
Yep. It's kind of getting its momentum going now.
And what you hear in there is actually water hitting the ground. So
from
you
the,
can tell.
The spray up top, right?
Yeah,
Coming
so
down
it may be a little bit oversaturated.
Okay.
We'll know here in a minute.
It's picking up though. Should we look at the readings?
Yeah, let's go inside and look at the readings and see what it's actually saying. But we'll give it a minute because it'll start picking up.
And we'll be able to go back and really slice and dice this data. So we'll know we started at around 208, 209.
Here it comes.
We're going to get every 10-second readings.
And actually that water we may have just heard was actually probably the start of it. Here it actually hit the ground. You can see it getting faster, faster, faster. And right now, I can personally feel it picking up and feel the air dropping. It's actually really cool.
Take a nap. Oh yeah.
And it's going to get so fast for this camera, probably not going to see much. So we'll go inside and see what the data is actually saying inside. Yeah. So that data in here is about 10 seconds behind. So when we get here, we probably should see what we were just feeling a minute ago.
Yep.
From what I see so far, Chris, you can probably help me with this.
Highest gust we've seen so far is 7 miles per hour, so that's new.
Yep.
And the wind speed is 7 right now.
So it's pretty
actually
steady and constant going in there.
Yep. And we're hoping that that'll continue to climb.
Yep.
And
now it's at 8 miles an hour, so you can see it's steadily increasing. And at some point it will cap off. At that point we may actually back some water injection off or add some to it. We'll kind of play around with it for a little bit.
you know, this is pretty cool too, because we started the test right at about, it kind of went null, the wind. This is the wind sensor inside the exhaust. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can see there's that forcing. This will update in a minute and show us the next 1 minute reading. So 60, 63, 65, or 6.5 I should say.
Right.
It's about to refresh. Let's see what we get. 6.5 will be up here in a moment. Or should be. There we go.
Okay,
So there's
so we
6.5, then we went to 6.8, 6.7, 8.8, and 7.7. So
7.7.
we're kind of
Peaking right now, we think, but
Yep.
we'll wait a little bit. You know, just started, and we'll kind of give you guys an update. Again, this is just a preliminary test. Next week we're doing kind of a full bore, but we wanted to test everything we installed to make sure it was all working properly, and we'll update you later. Thanks.